Hi guys, welcome back. I'll be continuing the discussion on the disaster management topic and the previous year questions. Now the question for today is on the urban floods which was asked in the 2016 mains. Basically the question can be divided into the four parts. First is the high intensity rainfall and how it impacts the flooding pattern, reason for urban floods, mechanism for preparedness, and risk reduction, how we can reduce the risks associated with the urban floods. You can introduce the question with stating that the urban flooding has become a new normal, so it is not a new thing to Indians, because many of the cities in India are witnessing waterlogging and urban flooding, and it has become very frequent, like cities like Mumbai, Chennai, and recently Gurgaon and Srinagar has also witnessed the high intensity urban floods. So these are type of disaster that uh, we have to be dealt with in everyday life. Now moving to the next part of the question, which is the main part of the question, I would say, is the reason for the urban flooding. Now, the first reason is the heavy rainfall during monsoons. As India is a monsoonal country, we witness rainfall in the limited period of a year, like 3 to 4 months, in which we witness heavy rainfall, and that is the primary reason for flooding. So, more rainfall, less time. So, if there is a more rainfall in the lesser time, the drainages will not be able to carry the water. Now, the next reason is the urban island effect. The urban heat island effect is increasing the flooding in the urban areas specifically. So, if there is a more heat, there is a more rainfall restricted to the urban areas. Larger reasons are global climate change. Global climate change is changing the weather pattern. So if the weather pattern changes and there is a heavy rainfall, high intensity rainfall in the lesser span of time, it results into the flooding. Other factors are the urbanization, which is the unregulated urbanization. Uh, it is leading to the developments and encroachment of floodplains, wetlands. So continuity development and redevelopment to higher density land uses. There is an increased pressure on land due to the unregulated migration. So rural people from rural areas are coming to the urban areas for livelihood opportunities, and it is increasing pressure on the land in the urban area. And the unregulated migration, as well as the encroachment of the land in the urban areas, specifically the drainage basins, uh, is the main factor behind the urban floods. The indirect factors are the improper and inadequate maintenance of the drainage system, attitude of the people, improper or no waste management, like waste is thrown on the floodplains or wetlands. So it is like the it can act as an indirect factor for the urban floods. The next reason could be that these storm water drainages are made for the intensity of 12 to 20 millimeter of rainfall. What if the rainfall is more than that? So it will naturally lead to flooding if the capacity of the drainages are not enough to cope up with the higher intensity of rainfall in the lesser span of time. Now these capacities get easily overwhelmed whenever rainfall of higher intensity is experienced. So further, the systems are very often and do not work to the designed capacities because of the very poor maintenance. Our authorities in India wake up only when there is urban floods, and before that they do not take any such measures, proactive measures that needs to be taken, and desiltation that needs to be occur before the monsoon arrives. Now the next factor is the encroachment. Encroachment are also a major problem in many cities and towns. The flow of water has increased in proportion to the urbanization of the watersheds. So there is an increased pressure on watersheds also. If the water flow has increased and it is more than that, the watershed can cope up, so clog it will clog the drainages and it will result into the flooding. Now, ideally, the drain should have been widened. As we widen the roads, if there is an increase in traffic, like that, the drainages should have been widened. But contrary to this, uh, encroachments on natural drains and river flood has happened, and consequently, the capacity of the natural drains has decreased. It is resulting in the flooding. As I have already talked about the waste disposal, the solid waste is directly thrown on the wetlands or the floodplains. It so that is and Dumping of construction debris is another factor. Uh, the dumping of construction debris into the drains contributes significantly to reducing drainage capacities. When Kerala floods occurred, at that time some environmentalists had uh, criticized the government, and they called it as a man-made disaster because of the government's failure on the environmental policy front. They attributed the devastating floods to the landslides because of the quarrying, mining, and mushrooming of high rises on the hillside as a part of tourism, illegal encroachment, and illegal encroachment of forest land by private parties. So the government has not acted in advance, and it has allowed these encroachments. That is why uh, the it led to the landslides, and it finally resulted into the devastating floods that Kerala had witnessed. Now the next part of the question is about the risk reduction. For risk reduction, what we can do is that pre-monsoon desilting of the drainage system. Before the monsoon arrives, there must be desilting of the drainage system. It should be well maintained. It should be uh, properly. The authorities should be well equipped to deal with the siltation problem of the drainage system. Now the Mumbai and Chennai has designed a specific system, that is C flows and I flows. C flows for Chennai and I flows for Mumbai. The Ministry of Earth Sciences has designed that system. It gives advanced warning in case of urban flooding. So that can be a risk reduction factor. You must mention that factor because it has recently been uh, designed for dealing with urban floods. The problem of solid waste disposal should be managed because it is leading to the choking of the drainages. Then if it is not managed, then it is thrown at the floodplains or the wetlands, or it is directly thrown into the drainages, and it leads to the choking of the drainage system and results into the flooding. So that should not happen. Protection and conservation of wetlands is necessary because they are the they protect flooding in the low-lying areas. Now the wetlands near urban habitats increase the water holding capacities, and they also act as a natural barriers against any surge in the water level, so they need to be protected. Another risk reduction factor would be that we can do rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting reduces the load of excess rainwater of rain and help in mitigating the urban floods. As we have already discussed that the paving of the land, concretization of the land has increased the water runoff. So that is leading to the flooding. So this rainwater harvesting can help in reducing the load of excess rainwater. So these are the risk reduction. We have covered almost all parts of the question. You can give an apt conclusion to the question and end it there. Thank you for watching the video. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you liked the video, please like the video. Thank you.